blackberries are a vine, a prickly vine. Again, they take over areas when they're present. They're very difficult to get into to control. If you've ever had the pleasure of trying to walk through a blackberry thicket, they can be up to 10 metres, the canes. Blackberry is a rose, relative to the rose family, and it's one of the members that produces seeds without having to be fertilised. So most flowering plants require two plants to come together to get seed. Blackberries can produce seed by themselves. They don't need anything, a partner to come along to do it. So they have the capacity to fix differences. And we have in Australia a series of blackberries, and each one of those blackberries we have about 6, I think, all told. Each one of those needs fairly specific treatment. The herbicides to control blackberries, again, are usually hormone-based herbicides, so you need to be pretty careful where you use them and have people who know what they're doing and licensed and properly licensed to control them, because they have issues if you've got other crops near the area from drift. So there are lots of herbicides to control them. There also have been brought in a whole series of rusts for biological control. The rusts, however, are very good taxonomists, and they only generally affect the blackberry form that they're adapted to take out. So if you have an American blackberry, the European blackberry will be left quite happy when the rust goes through and takes out the American blackberry. So you need, with blackberries, you need to make sure that you have probably somebody who's a registered herbicide person to control them because of the issues with the types of herbicides and spray drift. Or you can, with the Department of Agriculture, check and get some proper rust for your blackberry, but you need to have the right rust. So currently also, interestingly enough, around Pemberton, a phytophthora, a root rot fungus, has turned up that's absolutely taking out some of the blackberries. So it might be true that there are other means for controlling blackberries that we don't realise yet. But blackberries are just a difficult one because they're in wetlands and they require quite hormone-type herbicides, which you need to be quite careful about controlling, and they're very difficult to control by hand. You can just get leaves from the infected ones and stick them onto the ones that your blackberry that you have, as long as it's the right blackberry, and they will infect it quite readily. You could put them in water, but you've got to be quite careful with rusts because they may not germinate, or they may germinate in the water and then not work on the blackberry. So you probably need to ask somebody who's used to dealing with rusts as the best option so that you get the right advice of what to do.